This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Did you hear UD? Listen to UD's message, okay? When he's talking about this element that becomes police officers, okay? I want you to listen to one specific part, and we'll go over it now. Go ahead, Bill.
How did I find myself here? You know, I just wanted to play basketball and help the community. There definitely has to be justice for George. Yes. There definitely has to be protests for what happened to George. But I'd be lying if I said that it's been going about the right way. I'd be lying if I said that I'm proud of what's really been going on. I have an obligation to this community because this community has done so much for me, but I also have an obligation to the police department as well, who so many of my family members come here every day. They work, take care of people, they make sure people are safe, so there's gotta be a better way. I stand here right now, confused, torn, frustrated. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I literally text Keon and was like, yo, I just want to come. I just want to be a part of the solution.
Thanks for coming.
I just want to be a part of the solution. We have to have a plan moving forward. It has to be together. Like Keon said, you got to part like the Red Sea when you see that foolishness coming. As a black man, raising black kids in America, I'm scared as hell. Way more scared than I ever was for myself. Way more scared than I ever was for myself. Not only black men and black lives, it's the other side of who protects those black men and black lives. So now you're saying it's in the community and we got to worry about the people that's supposed to protect us. And I say to everybody, them people was terrible people before they put that badge on. Yes. They was terrible people before they put that badge on, man. For you to stand there and watch that ain't got nothing to do with your badge. That has nothing to do with your color. That has nothing to do with your race. That's something inside you that's messed up.
That's what I'm talking about. That part right there at the end where he says that's the problem. Evil people are putting the badge on. Evil people are part of the protest. They're not protesters. They're criminals. Okay? Chavon or Chavon or whatever, Derek Chavon is an evil person that has a badge on. And that's what we've got to weed out. And that's what we've got. There's a lot of great cops. I think I saw somebody on the chat board when I looked, somebody put all cops are bad. You know, that's just ignorance, man. That's just wrong on every level. There's a lot of great cops, and I think most of them care and really want to do a job, just like teachers. I think most teachers are good, and they want to be good teachers, and they want to teach their kids. Are there teachers that are bad? Of course. I mean, we all went to school. You had teachers that cared, man, and they taught hard, and they were hard asses with you, and they kept you in line and all that because they cared. And then you had the dudes or the women that just sat back and did nothing and let you loaf around. And yeah, you enjoyed those teachers. I know I did because I could skip, but they really weren't doing anything for you. They didn't really care about you. So you got bad teachers, you got bad lawyers, you got bad broadcasters, you got bad everything. But we've got to weed them out. And it's what Chris Rock said earlier. You can't have bad pilots. Right? It was a great line on his part. It was a great an analogy of, well, you know, most of our pilots like to land. You know, some of them like to crash in the mountains. You know, we got a couple of bad apples. Well, in pilots, you can't have one bad apple because it will kill hundreds of people. Well, as policemen and women, you can't have bad apples because you will be killing people. And that's what's been going on forever. The man that makes it a I think I would call it a tradition now every day. Tommy Italian 305 for life. There we go, Tommy Italian for life. And he's got the sticker going. Keep it up, doing the weights. Appreciate it. You know, I love the stickers, man. Good stuff. Thank you, Tommy Italian, 305 for life. Very nice of you chiming in on the super chat. All right, 786-322-1105. Jean-Luc says, it's crazy that police chief wants to get rid of bad cops, but said he can't because of the union, too much power. Well, that's where our cameras will make the difference. Okay? That's where pressure makes a difference. That's where you start voting people out that don't make the changes that you need. Alex says most cops believe in serve and protect. That's why they wanted to be one, to serve the people, but you have the jerks and the bullies that want power, and that's how they want to get it. Like I said, man, we all know that guy that was a little nutty, did a little too many weights, probably did a couple cycles of steroids, and then before you know it, you saw him a couple years later and he's driving around in a police uniform, and you're like, that guy's a cop? Yeah. So, it happens. Take a little trip with me says, it's not as crazy ever since I moved out of the city, Fort Lauderdale to Ocala. The rural community is much more peaceful. It's not healthy to live so close to each other. Listen, dude, I think most of us would agree with you. If you live in an Ocala compared to Fort Lauderdale or Miami, you're going to live a much better life. You know, when this bastard lived up in Martin County, I used to go up there to visit him, and since then I've gone by there a couple of other times, and I can imagine living in a place like that where you probably have a lot less crime and people are much more nicer. You know what I mean? And if we live in smaller towns in Florida, you probably have a better standard of living. Now, do you have all the creature comforts of the big city? No. Yeah, you know, like for me, I love music. If I live in a small town, it looks like I'm going to have to be driving a lot to go to concerts and things like that. So there are things that you're not going to be able to enjoy that if you live in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, Tampa, compared to Ocala. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have the same kind of nightlife. You're not going to have an ocean. You know what I mean? You don't have the Keys right next to you in a 2 hour. So there are things that there's a standard of living that can be a lot nicer in bigger towns. But the common decency of living, yeah, you're probably better off in a small town. For sure. For sure. No doubt. Got a buddy of mine that lives in Asheville, North Carolina. Phenomenal place. Beautiful place, man. And obviously, you're going to have a lot less traffic, a lot less crime. You know, it's just going to be a much better place to live. But that's kind of that's the give and take. If you want to live in a major city, there are sacrifices. And unfortunately, there are things that it's not the best thing to deal with, but it's kind of what life is all about, unfortunately, man.